Hello everyone, we're going to do another ink video, and it is an ink I've looked at before on my channel, but I want to do some writing samples on different paper. I'm kind of actually enjoying seeing how ink reacts to several different papers. Sometimes they surprise me. Anyway, so what we're going to look at today is the Sailor Shikiori Yodaki. Right now I have it inked up in my lovely little Pilot E95S. And yes, I've done a video about this. This has a fine nib. I usually keep it inked with some type of reddish or coppery color ink. And usually, actually, most common one I use is Diamine Oxford, Diamine Blood Orange, or Diamine Ancient Copper, either one of those two. And so I thought I'd try the Shikiori Sailor Yodaki, and I quite like this ink. I haven't used it a lot, but I've been writing with it with this pen, and it's very lovely. So, Pilot E95S is a pocket pen, sort of. It's a modern classic, or it's a modern homage to an older style pocket pen from the '60s or by Pilot, and it has this great pull cap, and when you post it, it is a very nice size pen. So we're going to look at the different papers we're going to use. And I have just sort of went through some notebooks and pads, and I pulled out different papers. And so what we're going to do is a few swatches, and we'll see how it all works. I'll do the swatches first, I guess. I'll put the pen away so I don't damage the nib. And I'll put it on my little, my new little pen holder from coppertist.wu, W-U. I just recently received that, and it's actually quite attractive. I love it. I'm just going to do a little ink splotch on each one. I'm not, if I was doing this better, I'd be timing the ink to see how fast it dries, but that's just how we roll here on this channel. We don't quite do things right, but that's okay. I don't mind. Anyway, yeah, so Sailor. I have a few different Sailors. I bought them locally here, but there weren't a large selection, but I quite liked their inks. I haven't really ordered any, and I probably won't. But if my local stationery shop carries more, I will definitely pick a couple up. Really attractive bottle. It's a small bottle. There's not much going on, really. But I don't know. I like the cap. I like the look of the bottle. I like the clear glass. And I like this fact that it has simple, cover stock packaging. So everything is recyclable, and that's kind of an important thing. That is an important thing. So to me, anyway. And I did this little splotch, this big splotch earlier, just for my records. So yeah, it's Sailor, and I just immediately spelt that wrong because I'm trying not to hit the camera. So this is Lifestrom, 1917. Looking across the papers, you can't really see it. Kind of curious what's going on here. There's some quite different results, actually. So that's interesting. So Sailor Yodaki E95S. I've used it on the Lystron in my notebooks. Really like it. Moves along very nicely. No surprises there. This is Endless Recorder. Once again, I'm familiar with this very much. No surprises there. Very nice, behaves very well in that ink. I'm noticing color differences as I move along. This is Pelican. Pelican's a funny paper. I'm wondering how it's going to work here. That actually worked quite nicely. But I'm noticing a very different, a more intense color here. This is just a cheap photo paper. And as I use this mostly because I had printed a card on it, and I was curious to see how fountain pen friendly it was. It's from Staples. It's just matte. It's the ultra premium matte photo paper, not fountain pen friendly, or not sold as fountain pen friendly. But I'm curious to see how it works. Oh, oh no, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Really feathers. When I wrote the S, I don't know what was going on there. It seemed like, oh, this is actually working on this paper. But as I went on, you can see how it really sucked in. Interesting thing too, you can see color separating here on the, on the photo paper. There's a yellow corona up here, or yellow halo up here at the top, and it actually is quite attractive. Anyway, this is Baron Fig. I use this for sketching. I can't remember if it's sold as being fountain pen friendly. Excuse my handwriting as usual. This is Rhodia. And that's really interesting. There's some sort of, you can see dark black I wonder what that is. Shading? Is it shading, I wonder? No. Oh, and that actually works quite nicely. Clairefontaine. And the little swatch I put down really has some dark areas showing up. It's dry. Oh, and I am spelling everything wrong today. And it feels different. Almost a glassy feel. And finally, this paper G. Lalo. I have a pad of this. It's for writing letters, things like that. There's a definite texture to this paper, sort of a weave to it. So, but actually, it works quite nicely. There's a vibration as you write across this paper. That's very interesting. So, all in all, I'm not too surprised. I'm still looking for the perfect pen combination for the cheap photo paper. Now then, so G. Lalo. I'm going to flip this over and take a look and see what happened in the back. It didn't bleed all the way through. It actually did on a couple other inks I've posted there. Monteverde California Teal, it came through the paper, but the Yodaki didn't. And of course you're seeing ghosting. That's expected. There's no feathering or anything really happening. That's the Lalo paper, and it actually worked quite nicely. This is the Clairefontaine. It's a cream-colored paper. And as you can see, there is quite a just a little bit more darkness to it, possibly because of the color of the paper, of course. But oh, now that is interesting. Look at this. I didn't actually put more ink on any of them, I don't think, but it did bleed through on the Clairefontaine. Other colors didn't. The Monteverde bled through. Diamine Lilac and Diamine Oxford Blue didn't bleed through, but this definitely did. That's the Clairefontaine, right? So you can see right there what's going on. This is Rhodia. Oh, it bled through on the Rhodia too. The California Teal also bled through. Diamine Lilac, Diamine Oxford Blue didn't bleed through. That's interesting. Of course, you can see ghosting and things like that. It's very thin paper. Baron Fig. Oh, everything has bled through Baron Fig so far. The Diamine Lilac, the Monteverde California Teal, Diamine Oxford Blue, and the Sailor Yodaki. All of them have come through. I use this paper mainly for sketching. I do use pencil and crayon. I have a sketchbook. I tend to use mostly pencil on that paper, and I can see why. I have drawn with platinum carbon black on it. I haven't really noticed any bleed through as I draw, but and also, as you notice, the writing hasn't really come through. You can see the ghosting, but if you put down a lot of ink, say I wonder if like a broad nib, what would happen? Eventually I'm going to do an experiment again with a broad nib and try it, just keep on doing this to see what happens. But that's interesting how that came through. And all the other ones did too. And of course the Sailor Yodaki on the Staples matte photo, it bled like crazy. So I haven't really used this paper too much. I shouldn't say that. I have printed cards on the matte photo, and I've told people that it's not fountain pen friendly, and I can see why. But it doesn't come through. That's the interesting thing. It's a 300-gram paper. It's a bit heavier than the other papers, which run around 80 grams per square meter. This is 300 grams per square meter. But it really sucks into the paper, and it's very vibrant. It's very strong. It's actually quite attractive on this paper. It's a shame that I can't find something that's not going to feather like crazy. But actually, you know what? With the right nib and me taking a little bit more care, it would make a very attractive greeting card note, Pelican. Got this at Pelican Hub here in Charlottetown back in, oh my gosh, November. And here we are in January. And so the Sailor Yodaki, it has bled through the Pelican paper. As you can see too, California Teal also bleeds through. There's not on the writing sample, of course, but there is ghosting. But when you put a swatch down, it comes through. I wonder with, say, a broad nib or a double broad nib, would you have bleed through? Probably. If you had a pen that's putting down a lot of ink, you would probably get a bleed through on that. Sailor Yodaki on Endless Recorder. The swatch, we'll look at all the swatches afterwards. The swatch to me looks lighter than the other inks in some ways. It hasn't bled through at all. So that's Endless Recorder. That's Tomo River paper, 68 grams per square meter. So that's the new, and not the newest Tomo River paper, but one of the Tomoe River papers, second generation maybe. I'll have to check that. But it hasn't bled through. Lystrum. Color looks a little lighter than some of the other ones. It hasn't bled through. Actually, none of the other inks have bled through the Lystrum or the Tomoe River paper. There has been more bleeding through the Staples matte paper, which is almost useless in some ways for fountain pens. It did come through Rhodia, and so did that. It did come through Clairefontaine. And it didn't come through the Gallo, even though the Monteverde Teal did. Monteverde Teal, I'm really liking that color, but by the way. And I really like this. Now, it's interesting. Putting the swatches down, I don't think I put more or less on any of them. There are definite color differences on paper. The Tomoe River paper runs a bit more yellow, for instance. The matte paper is gorgeous, and sadly, well, if I was doing some fancy calligraphy writing, it might actually be quite striking. It's very dark. This almost brings it, yeah, so the Lalo, I see a bit more yellow in it too. The Tomoe River paper runs a bit yellower. Pelican runs very dark. There's the Gallo, you see more yellow coming up. This is almost, the Lystrum, the Baron Fig are actually very close. Very interesting. I don't know if you're finding this very interesting. I hope you are. Rhodia. Now then, I'm curious about something else here. We're going to do a little, I did this about 10 minutes ago. I should have done this earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Not in any way waterproof. And I know that would be the fact. It stains. Obviously, it stains pink. I haven't noticed any problems in my fountain pens with it staining. Haven't tried it in any clear pens, but it does have a definite pink cast. Anyway, thanks for sticking through this video if you have. This is just some of the stuff I like to do. I have fun doing this. And if you're new around here, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. All of those little things help. And hey, I'm going to put a link in the description to this little pen holder. It's from a company called Copperist.wu, and they sent me this, and it's really cool. I have it on my desk. I like weird things on my desk, and it's nice to have a little pen holder. And anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.